they went out and they made another addition. Well, I guess it's still and hasn't been finalized, but the Astros have reportedly reached an agreement to make a trade with the Miami or the Florida Marlins for Yimi Garcia in exchange for Brian De La Cruz, and we'll talk about this on this episode of the Locked On Astros podcast.
It's the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Heisman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chansey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Heisman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talks Stros. You can find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. How are y'all feeling about this trade? I don't know if we can call it official yet. It sounds like some people are saying it's close. Some people are saying that's a legit deal. But the Astros are getting another closer, Yimi Garcia from the Marlins. This is a guy that I don't think I was even looking at, but this is a guy that has 15 saves on the season. I know if you look at his stats, he has a 3-7 record on the season, 3.47 ERA. He has 35 strikeouts and 36 and 1/3 innings pitch. If you look at some of his numbers, it doesn't look very good. He has a pretty high FIP. I think it was a 4.15 FIP. I erased it or something, but this is another closing option. This is another move that James Click has done without touching the big core of the Astros farm system. So I think that this is a good move. This is as of right now, with everything that's going right now, the Astros are not going to go over the luxury tax threshold. So this is something that is kind of what's going on. This is what the Astros are trying to do. Does that mean they're done? No, there could be something that they're going looking at. Yes, somebody just said that his career stats are a little bit better. Yes, if you look at last year, I know 2020, you can't really look at that, but he was 3-0 with a 0.60 ERA. In 2019, he was 1-4 with the 3.61 ERA. But overall, his career ERA is 3.41. So his overall career FIP is 4.22. But so yeah, there's some things that you can kind of get worried about. His WHIP for his career is 1.024 this year. It's a career high at 1.21. So that's something you can be a little bit alarmed with. But at the same time, this is a guy that's not going to be your closer. This is not somebody you're coming in saying, hey, Garcia, we need you to be your closer. This is the guy that could be coming in the 7th inning, 6th inning. This is just another guy. And to trade a outfield depth piece like Brian De La Cruz, this is something that's kind of good. So he's looked at, so Sierra said that she looked at his stats twice and it's looking pretty good. Yeah, overall, his numbers are not looking bad. He has 13 walks. He's allowed 5 home runs, 35 strikeouts. So yeah, he's like I said, his FIP is 4.17. His Sierra was, I believe, is 3.98. And there's some other things that you could be a little bit alarmed about, but overall, Brian De La Cruz was having a good season. I know he caught Dusty Baker's eyes to spring training, but Chaz McCormick earned the starting spot. I mean, not the starting spot, but the opening day roster. But De La Cruz this year was batting .324 with 12 home runs, 50 RBIs, and an .880 OPS in Sugarland. And he is no longer a top 30 prospect, but he deserved this trade to the Marlins. So the Marlins got a good young prospect. He is 24 years old, and he's gonna have a good career. He probably wasn't going to have that career with the Houston Astros, especially with some of the talent they have. I know they have a lot of depth in the outfield. I know a lot of people don't think that. So so I don't think the Astros are done. And by the way, they did make another roster move because Rafael Montero will be activated before today's game. Austin Pruitt was designated for assignment, so that means they opened a spot on the 40-man roster. That means that they do not have to open a spot for Garcia if that trade goes through. So all they have to do is add him to that roster a spot. So they do have to add a spot to the active roster. That means that somebody like Brandon Belak, and I know everybody wants to say, well, Brooks Raley, he can be option down. No, Brooks Raley does not have any options left. So if they're going to do that, they're going to have to designate him for assignment. So I don't think that Dusty Baker wants to do that. So you're not going to do that. So Pruitt, is he going to have? I don't think Pruitt has any value left. He only pitched 2 2/3 innings. He gave up 2 home runs, 1 strikeout, and so his ERA is 6.75. Some team may reach out to him, but I'm pretty sure he's going to clear waivers. He may accept assignment stay with the Astros, but I'm not really sure. So I will have to see there. But yeah, the Astros still have some of their top prospects. The Astros did not lose any of their top prospects with these moves. So does that mean they're setting up for a big move? Who knows? But the Astros have basically revamped their bullpen, and we still have Pedro Baez. If he still exists, a lot of people keep on saying, well, do these guys really exist? We have not seen Pedro Baez all year, and Josh James is on the way back. So the Astros are about to have a whole lot of options in a bullpen, and this could really help them down the road. So World Traveler said that in his career, he has 48 walks in 211 innings. One of the weak points in our bullpen has been walks. We get a player who doesn't walk people. So, yeah, that's good. So, yeah, so I'm glad. I'm not, and a lot of people after yesterday's game are really worried about Ryan Presley. I think yesterday was just a weird game overall. Seeing like when you see like, I'm sure that Joe Smith was one of his friends. Seeing one of his friends traded like that, it probably affected him a little bit. So I'm not too worried about this, but I just think that it's not that big a deal. But so Larry GM, I know you hear somebody wants to know what the grade is for your trade for this trade, but overall, what are y'all's thoughts about this trade? What do you think about James Click's trade so far? And as of right now, he looks to be staying under the luxury tax threshold. And so we'll see what's going to happen overall. But I think that he has done a great job basically retooling the bullpen. Yes, he could have gone out and gone all in gone and got Craig Kimbrell, but he did the basically the Rays way, and he went in and get a whole bunch of smaller pieces. And so we'll see. So Larry the GM says that a B, Zach says B, and I'm Heel says B. So if you look at a lot of national media, they're saying that they're giving the Astros some really props for these moves, and they're saying that they're going to have a very formidable team come October with some of these bullpen moves they made. They've already had a good team, but they're doing this without really hurting their farm system, and they're doing that a lot. So I think that this will be really a good move for the Houston Astros, but we'll have to see what happens. And so we'll definitely have to talk about this on the locker room, the Green Room coming up this week. And this episode is brought to you by Green Room. It's the first social audio platform made for sports fans. The app is free to download, and once you're in, you could talk with me, other fans like Larry the GM, athletes, insiders. And Green Room is the perfect place to start or join conversation about the baseball. If you want to talk about the trade deadline, I'm sure there's plenty of rooms talking about the trade deadline right now. And if you want to go for a watch party, like once the playoff starts, they have green rooms for watch party debates, post-game breakdowns, and of course, reacting to the big news or rumors. You get a chance to talk with us this week, and you might get a chance to be featured on the Locked On Astros podcast through our Green Room conversations. Go download the free Green Room app, and currently available on all iOS devices. Be sure to create a profile, link your Twitter, and join the MLB group for the latest updates. Follow me at Eric Heisman or at H-Town Wheelhouse to be notified when our room goes live. I know you won't want to miss it. I'm planning to be there on Friday or Saturday this week. I can't wait to hear everybody's thoughts on the Houston Astros moves. See you there, Green Room, changing the way we talk sports. All right. So, yeah, I know. So, Mad Grimley says only cost us Toro and De La Cruz. Not bad. Yeah, but a lot of people are saying we've had this discussion in the past. Prospects are cool, but parades are cooler. And what the Astros are doing is they're strengthening their weakness. Their weakness was the bullpen, and they're doing something by not trading away a lot of their core. The Astros minor league system is one of the weakest in baseball, and they're not making it worse by trading away the Corey Lees and the Hunter Browns and all that. So they're doing what they're supposed to be doing right now. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I'm not so sold on Max Scherzer anymore. It sounds like that he's be going to one of the West Coast teams, and that's fine. I'm not so sold on that, but overall, I think that the Astros, if the trade does go through, they have 6, 7, 8, 9 covered. Now it's just can they patch together the rest? Are you going to have faith in Brooks Raley anymore? Is he going to make the cut? I'm sure that we'll have to see what Pedro Baez can offer, because this guy is a legit reliever. So can he come back and maybe take over that Brooks Raley role? Can Dusty Baker say adios to Brooks Raley? So we'll have to see. So I'm Heel says we need a starter regardless. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. I would love to have another top of the rotation starter, but at what cost? So don't forget that on tonight's episode of the Locked On Astros podcast, we will have Robert Flores of the MLB Network on, and we're really excited for that. So I just wanted to come on and kind of jump on. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to talk about before. I needed that water. So all three of the relievers the Astros will combine for less than $2 million for the rest of the season. So that's awesome. And I think that's about it. He is a rental, so he will be a free agent after the season, just like Graveman. So, and Montero will be in active lineup roster today. So we'll see, but Montero does have, is a arbitration eligible for next year. So we'll see what happens. And I already talked about Austin Pruitt, and we'll have to see what happens. Austin Pruitt. Oh, Pedro Leon, he will be out for 6 weeks after fracturing his left pinky while sliding into base on Saturday night for the Sugarland Skeeters. So while I don't think that's going to affect the 2021 Astros, it does slow down his development. So we'll see how that affects the Astros a little bit later. So anyway, that's all we got. I'm really pumped about the Astros making this trade. Yes, it's not it's not gonna really help the Astros win a World Series, but it's that one move that could really help them get there and give them the extra thing. So I'm really excited for Robert Flores tonight, and please join. And thank y'all to everybody who's been subscribing to the Locked On Astros podcast. And I think we're getting close to 900 if we're not already there. And go Stros, I'm going to go back to finish watching this 1-0 game, and we'll talk to you later. And thank you for subscribing to Locked On Astros podcast, and we'll talk to you later.